You see somebody, you pass by and you see somebody eating in McDonald's. So would any of us judge somebody favorably and say, you know what, he probably this and... No, come on, he's guilty as charged. He wanted to have a cheeseburger. Let's call a spade a spade. No, you have to have a krima cup, you have to have a twisted mind and try to figure out a reason why he's there. And this is actually a story of Shimon Schwab, the great Rav of the Breuer's community, was once walking in Manhattan, and he passes by a McDonald's, and he sees one of the people that daven in his shul, Chashuv shul, eating a cheeseburger in a McDonald's. He wasn't dealing with some conservative shul people, he was dealing with a regular from a yid that's Shemer Torah mitzvahs, and he was eating so he doesn't say anything to the guy, but it really bothered him every time he sees him in shul and Yom Kippur, whatever. He's like, the guy mamash, I don't even know what to do with him. What do you do with him? He's eating he's eating treifus and the veils of treifus. What do you do with such a guy? Basa b'chal of everything. One time, he gets a call, this balabas, he's in the hospital, and part of the job of a Rav is to visit sick people in the hospital when they're davening in your shul. So he didn't really want to go. He was really still upset at the guy. But he goes and visits him, and he says, how are you doing, Mr. Levy? He says, I'm not doing so well. He says, what happened? He says, I don't know if the Rav knows. He says, but I have a very severe ulcer in my stomach. Terrible ulcer. And it's so severe that if it starts to erupt and I don't eat something in time, within a few seconds, I could die. The ulcer could explode or whatever it does, and I could bleed to death, I could die. He says, Rabbi, there have been times, I'm embarrassed to tell you, that I have been walking in Manhattan, and all of a sudden I feel that my ulcer is about to pop, and I had to go into a McDonald's even and eat whatever they had just to stay alive. It was pikuach nefesh mamish. He says, I had an ulcer, I didn't get it in time, and I got rushed to the hospital, and Baruch Hashem, hopefully we're on the mend. But that's, and Schwab says to himself, I blew it. I was looking at the nega. I was looking at the nega, at the Basa B'Cholab. I was very focused on McDonald's and on the Basa B'Cholab and the Veils and Treifus. I saw the nega clearly, but I didn't see the totality of the person. I didn't bother to check. What drove him to eat this? What drove him to go into the... I didn't bother. I just immediately paskin lamavis. That's it. And there's a million of these stories. I could go on for days and days with stories from the books. There are many books written on this if you like the subject. But I could tell you personal stories, and I'm sure you could tell me personal stories of things that you saw and it wasn't as it seemed. It looked exactly what you thought it was, but it wasn't.